where's that word page? Right there. Control V. There we go. Control A, Control C. Now I can stick it on here. Control V. And that way I can do my replace editor, which again, we can edit what we want it to do. If there are funky double quotations, the ones that lean to the side and they're looking like hidden characters or bad characters, we can replace them with a standard notepad double quotes. Same with the closing. If there's like a space ... we just want it to be ... we got it. All that kind of thing is with the add edit. We just put in whatever we want to replace and whatever we want to replace it with. And we can make this list just as long as we want. And we can even get rid of things like the French A or the Spanish A, all with the tildes and so forth over the top, and just convert them to regular. So we can get rid of, anything that says ampersand trade. We can just go ahead and make it a trademark if we want. Anything like that, we can just update it. And so we run it. Bap. And the idea is that gets rid of everything. At least most of everything. I don't need that anymore. Don't save. Paste. Whap. And so there we go. Let me close it now anyway. See how it looks. Much better. See exclamation points right up against the bracket now, the way it ought to be. Things like that. Now some of these it'll still have a little trouble with maybe. And so I might just have to go in and replace a space question mark with a question mark, and I just do it right inside the page real quick. That's an easy thing to deal with. And that's like if the question mark is a different font or whatever, and we haven't added it to our list. But I can just do it. I can do that touch-up stuff really, really fast, right? At least I didn't have to think much. And there we go. Open it now. And here we go. It's all straight now. That kind of thing. So it's all there, and I can continue as I would. All right, now this is like a really yucky looking web page and hard to read, and you can't tell what's going on, so let's just get rid of it, and let's get rid of everything that goes along with it. Don't save, because it's just not done, and so it's just going to look silly anyway, so it's hard to see what the point is, right? All right, empty. Yeah. Let's just do something with a page that already exists. And so I created a couple of annuity projects here that I'm just going to show you. And here's kind of what it is. If I open the index on this one, and here you see it. It's a page. It's got all this different stuff attached to it. It's got vars cited more than once, for those of you who wondered. Yeah, you can do that. Still a 6-page limit, Alan. You're kind of right about that. I haven't tested past 6 pages. You can check a 7 or an 8. Because it's really a limitation on the amount of characters that will fit into a single cell. And so you can always check and see what you can get away with. I just started saying 6 when I found that 6 was good and 10 was bad. But 8 may just do the trick. Because you're right, we did a change there with 8. But we can check for a 6 and just see how, or check for an 8 and see how that goes. And so on. So I set this thing up. And what could I do? I could make this website the way I want and then turn around and sell it to some guy, right? That's the idea. And what do we have in the menu? We have some links, all right? And they use also keywords like var1, which is being used a lot because it's like a keyword phrase that we're after. And so it's in everything so we can force relationships. But then we got all our links here. All right, so there's that one. I'm just showing you that right now. And then next to it, we have one more that's similar. Why? Let's say I want to test more than one kind of variation. I'm just showing you can use 2 entirely different websites, and yet those websites with entirely different layouts, right? Read more about this, read more about that, this, read more. These entirely different layouts, okay, still use the exact same model page. This var1 is identical to the var1 from here because the wording on those sites are the same. Now, one thing that might catch your attention is I see a long index page here. Let me see. We got a var1, which is obviously a subject heading anyway. And then we have what we have, and this is just a placeholder image. And then we have a topic called the fixed annuity. Apparently there is such a thing as a fixed annuity, right? And that's the whole section about fixed annuity. Now we have another topic about the variable annuity. That's all about the variable annuity. Then we have the indexed annuity. Okay? Then the fixed annuity resale. What are we doing here? We're creating stuff that is highly searched on Google. These are things that you can do keyword research on and figure out what's important and start building up the main page with these topics so that you have a page with a bunch of stuff that maybe you got from 5 different websites actually. You may have started with the original information right off some other website. You may have copied that off website 1 and then copied this off website 2. And when you run out the vars, of course, you're going to throw away the original, go with the vars. One of the vars is the original and just tweak it up if you need. That way it's unique, right? So whatever the case is, the content was found, pasted in, and we're dealing with the topics, the main topics that we want here. All right? And it goes down. And then finally, this is about choosing an annuity. There's a whole search based on things like choosing an annuity. You know, which annuity is right for me, that kind of thing. Choosing an annuity. Now, this is a long page with a lot of sections on it. Now, notice what's interesting. See how it says here, choose an annuity, fixed annuity, variable, indexed, fixed annuity resale, pension resale, and annuity tax advantages. That is these topics, right? You kind of recognize them. So that's kind of interesting. So if I click on choose an annuity, guess what? This right here, especially this part right here, is the same as this part down here, unless I'm getting my sections confused and didn't pay enough attention to the numbers. VAR 1999, nope. VAR 1999 through 1579. 1999 through 1579, and then there just happens to be one more sentence on the main page that wasn't stuck on that side page. Okay? So how many of you are thinking, well, that's strange, because isn't that going to be duplicate content, right? Because then we have another section here called the pension resale and annuity alternative, and here it is with the VARs and everything related to that. So if I go up here to pension resale and annuity alternative and click on it, there it is. It's the same thing, except does that mean it's duplicate content? Not the way we run it out, because we're going to actually do Moji runs on these pages separately, so stop and think. The VARs are the same, but the results that it generates in each case are going to be different. So we're going to wind up with an index page that talks about these main topics, and each of these topics are going to point through to, it's going to have anchor text or whatever in the page, and there are different ways that we're going to approach this. This is why we do more than one website. This is interesting. You'll get it. But each of these things is going to have some kind of a link in it, or won't in some cases, that lead to the variable annuity page. Variable annuity. All right? That way, when we put these pages up, Google sees organization, order, navigation, everything built in. There's going to be anchor text all throughout these paragraphs that keep pointing out each thing. Like right here where it says the fixed annuity. Then it goes blah, 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 and that's a link to fixed annuity. It could be that. That might be cool. That's one test, the first word of the sentence. Another one is, what about just right here? A fixed annuity is an interest-based. So fixed annuity, right here we're defining it. This could be a link to the fixed annuity page. Now when Google goes through this, it's going to find unique content that includes content about a fixed annuity, and it's going to go further, lead you to more information about a fixed annuity still. So you have more pages about fixed annuity. Oh, wait a minute. Our main page is also going to point out more pages about variable annuity. So this page does relate heavily about variable annuity. It's quite optimized and everything's clear, but also points to another page that's about variable annuity. So Google's seeing a relationship here. Now indexed annuity, same thing. You know, all these things can be done that way. Now, what are the combinations that start to cross your mind, right? Let's say you were testing SEO, because here's a question for you. What if I created 1,000 of these home pages and they each had a link, like to variable annuity, to one page? In this case, it's got a link to variable annuity, and then up here it had a link to fixed annuity, and so on. It's got a link to all these things. But I got 1,000 pages, each pointing at the highly optimized, very specific topic. So I want this to be the big page that Google sees as the destination page that Google says is getting a whole lot of backing, right? On my website, Google says there is a lot of information that's completely unique that's pointing at, because this is the whole section, that's pointing at one page about fixed annuity. So this page is getting a whole lot of power or a whole lot of juice from 1,000 of these pages. Now that's one SEO test to do on one website or to do one way. What's another one? Here's another one. What if we said, let me go find this again so I can highlight something so you can just keep a visual on it, variable annuity, whatever. What if we said, what if I create 500 main pages and each one of them is going to point to a variable link? Basically where I use a site, like let's say first the variable annuity page. Let's say I ran out 100 variable annuity pages. After all, it's a Mojeed page. Let's say I ran out 100. Okay, now I got 100. And I got a sitemap with 100 links that I can stick onto the CSV sheet for the main page. And when I have that on the CSV sheet for the main page, then it becomes a var that is going to be exactly, hello, like that, except what was a variable annuity, whatever. And so this is going to be highlighted, but instead of pointing to a single static page, it actually rotates through 100 web pages that are all about variable annuity. So what if I have like 500 main pages, each pointing at 100 different pages about variable annuity, where the anchor text is variable annuity in every case. It's static anchor text, just the word variable annuity. Okay, what would that do for rank? Okay, because now Google says, oh, you actually have 500 plus 500, 1,000 pages about variable annuity, you know, that are all different, but they're easy to navigate through and read, because if Google followed this and then wound up on the index page, another page, and followed that, it's all these different pages that are all about variable annuity. Now, that's kind of a big deal. So there's another test. Here's another one. What if we used varred anchor text, you know, instead of just saying a two-word thing like a variable annuity, blah, 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 like this could very well be something we could redo and use as a single cell and say a variable annuity this, a variable annuity that. And so then that becomes our anchor text where the final word keeps changing. Now Google says you have a page about variable annuity this, a different page about variable annuity that, and then, oh look, you actually have several pages about all of them, you know, variable annuity this, that, the other, and something else, and something else, and something else, and something else. And the main phrase in here always is variable annuity, but you're going after those three-word combinations that show Google that you're hitting all these different combinational words, right? And so there's another SEO test. Now, all this sounds like great stuff, except it's a lot of work with the SEO test this, SEO test that, right? You're thinking about all the projects you have to create and how you have to run them out, how difficult it must be to keep all this stuff in track. And that's exactly what I want to show you, because the reason that we built the Mojeed Pro was so that we can run out any number of websites with any number of pages and side pages and be able to do whatever we want. If we want to make a copy of the index that has a varred menu, and I'll just give you an example real fast. This obviously has static text menu, okay? Every single page is going to say choose an annuity when you see the page. Then this will always say fixed annuity. That will always say variable annuity. But see the pop-up? It says var1 dash choose an annuity, var1 dash fixed annuity, var1 dash variable annuity. Is there any reason why we couldn't also make the wording here do the same thing as the pop-ups or more, and also have it be varred so that we have, out of our who knows how many, 1,000 pages, 500 pages, whatever it is, that we have like 20 pages that say choose an annuity, and then 20 pages that say choosing an annuity, and then 20 pages that say choosing annuities, and 20 pages saying choosing annuity, and so on and so forth. And they can either point at one page, in other words, the link can be a static link, or it can point at variable pages. So we can mix and match quickly and efficiently